Hello, it is 3:19 a.m. and I just finished the video essay script for the Marcus from Lab Rats script analysis video.
It's time. Hello everyone, it's Sam, aka Ocean Unknown, and welcome back to my channel. This is the next installment in my series about looking at characters through the theatrical lens, and actually, this is the first video I wrote for this series. This was the whole video that inspired the series. This was originally supposed to be a one-off video, but now it's a whole series, and it's the fourth installment of the whole series. I would like to credit Keyan Carlile for giving me the idea not only for this video, but for the whole series, with his video essay called The Rise and Fall of Disney's Weirdest Sitcom. So, let's get started with the video! Lab Rats was a TV show created by Chris Peterson and Brian Moore that aired from February 27, 2012 to February 3, 2016 on Disney XD. The show followed Leo Dooley, a 14-year-old boy whose mom Tasha just married billionaire inventor Donald Davenport. Leo accidentally stumbles upon Donald's secret lab where he hides three bionic teenagers: Adam, who has super strength and heat vision, Bree, who has super speed, and Chase, who has very high intelligence. Leo feels bad for them since they've been stuck in the lab their entire lives, so he takes them to school with him, which leads into all of the major conflicts of the show besides the disastrous missions that their dad, Donald, sends them on. That is a basic synopsis of the overall plot of Lab Rats, but now let's get to the character in question, Marcus. Marcus, played by Matthias Ward, is a major antagonist in Lab Rats Season 1 and 2 and in the series finale. His first appearance in the show is Season 1, Episode 19, Concert in a Can, where he's the new kid at Mission Creek High School and he befriends Adam and Chase through a liking of music. Seeming like a good friend, something Adam and Chase haven't had in the series at this point, he suggests that they should start a band. Leo becomes suspicious of Marcus, and then Marcus smashes his own guitar and pins it on Leo. This causes Adam and Chase to think that Leo is overreacting, but later in the episode, Marcus confesses to breaking his own guitar, as well as gaslighting the Davenports to get some sympathy and further gain their trust. When everyone leaves the school except Marcus and Leo, Marcus reveals his true nature. It's time to use my dramatic monologue skills. Keep in mind, I'm a theater tech person, not an actor. He tells Leo, "You didn't actually think I was gonna apologize, did you?" They totally believe me. Oh, and if you ever try to rat me out again, you're toast. Hey guys, wait up! I don't want to miss any of the fun. Marcus appears briefly in the B-plot of the Season 1 finale, Mission Space, which further solidifies his role as the main villain of the show at this point. He finds Davenport's lab and puts a camera there to spy on Adam, Bree, and Chase, along with a mysterious figure. We, as an audience, also learn from Leo that Marcus is a Sagittarius. Leo uses this as evidence for why Marcus is evil, which I think is so funny.
Marcus is an evil, two-faced liar, and also a Sagittarius.
In Season 2, Marcus immediately starts going further and further into his evil wrongdoings. In Season 2, Episode 1, Speed Trapped, he traps Leo in Donald's new high-speed self-driving car, which Marcus programmed to send Leo to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. At this point in the story, Adam, Bree, and Chase don't know that Marcus is evil, so Marcus is still sucking up to them, like in this episode where he takes them all to a frozen yogurt shop. Leo knows that Marcus is evil, however, he is unaware of how dangerous Marcus is. When Leo realizes that Marcus was behind the whole car fiasco and threatens to tell his dad, Marcus shoots lasers out of his eyes at a nearby toaster. He says, "Oh god, how am I gonna do this monologue?" "I wouldn't do that if I were you. That was a warning shot. Next one won't be. Surprise! I'm bionic." Just like Adam, Bree, and Chase. At this point in the series, Leo now knows that not only does Marcus know about his siblings' bionic powers, but Marcus has powers of his own. Throughout the story, Leo has tried to prove to Adam, Bree, and Chase that Marcus isn't the sweet friend he appears to be, but they don't believe him. It is also revealed that the mysterious figure Marcus was talking to in Season 1 is his father. In order to prove to his siblings that Marcus is actually evil, Leo takes matters into his own hands after being threatened by Marcus at school in Season 2, Episode 10, Leo vs. Evil. This is also the episode that alludes to the fact that Marcus possesses all of Adam, Bree, and Chase's biotic powers since he shuts a door using telekinesis, which is one of Chase's powers. Leo follows Marcus to his house, finds his secret lair, and starts taking pictures of the lair before Marcus catches him. Marcus clicks a remote and a massive robot appears in the lair. The robot chases Leo, but Leo outsmarts Marcus, quoting Chase earlier in the episode by saying, "Clever beats strong any day." After the robot is destroyed, Leo heads back to the lab with with his evidence of Marcus's malicious intentions, but his phone falls through Donald's new invention, a teleporter. Because he no longer has evidence of Marcus's plan, nobody believes him. The conclusion of this arc of Lab Rats happens in Season 2, Episodes 14 and 15, Bionic Showdown Part 1 and Part 2. Marcus hacks into the Davenport home security system, and then he and his father kidnap Donald. It is also revealed that Marcus's father, Douglas, is Donald's brother, which means that Marcus is related to the Davenports. After taking Donald to his lair, Marcus sends a message to Adam, Bree, Chase, and Leo, revealing his true nature to the Bionic kids. Adam, Bree, and Chase go to Marcus's house, and they are all captured by Douglas. Douglas then reveals to Adam, Bree, and Chase that he is their real father, and that technically, Marcus is their brother. It is also revealed that Marcus isn't even bionic. He is an android that Douglas created. As the Bionic teens and Donald escape, they engage in a fight with Marcus and Douglas. Just as Marcus and Douglas are about to defeat them, Leo shows up in an exoskeleton mech suit. Marcus quickly defeats Leo, but just as he is about to kill him, Adam all of a sudden uses a new bionic ability that allows him to make giant bursts of energy. The blast knocks out Donald, Douglas, Leo, and Marcus, while also causing the layer to start collapsing. Everyone is able to escape, except for Marcus as the layer collapses on him, killing him. Marcus is occasionally mentioned throughout the series, but he returns in Season 4, starting in the two-part special, Bionic Action Hero. Like Marcus, this episode features an android villain played by Leo Howard. Leo Howard's character, Troy, is supposed to be an actor that is researching bionics for an upcoming role given to him by Douglas's past colleague, Giselle. While catching up with Giselle, Douglas says, "You can make a whole movie just about Marcus." Giselle seems interested in Marcus's powers, and that shows as the two-part special ends with her going to a junkyard and finding Marcus's destroyed android body. As Marcus is reintroduced into the series, he is the main antagonist alongside Giselle in the series finale, The Vanishing. In this episode, Giselle uses technology to teleport all of the bionic characters to a bionic restricted prison. Meanwhile, she uses a watch to make Marcus look like Douglas's newly introduced bionic son, Daniel. Marcus ties up the Davenport brothers and fights Daniel. Daniel has a power replication ability, so he steals Marcus's powers and uses them to break him into 1,000,000 pieces. It's so anticlimactic. They could have done so much more, especially for the series finale. The Davenport family comes back to their home, and Douglas has Marcus's parts, claiming that he might try to reprogram him to be good, which everyone refuses. In typical sitcom series finale fashion, Leo reminisces about all of the journeys he has been on in the lab, but before he leaves, Marcus puts his body back together. He says, "What's the matter, Leo? Never seen an android regenerate before? Part of my upgrade. That's what makes me superior to humans." Leo gets ready to kill Marcus once and for all to finally get his revenge. However, Douglas blasts Marcus with a heat gun, which melts him and kills him for the third and final time. So now that we know Marcus's story in Lab Rats, let's look at his character through the theatrical lens. First and foremost, we have to identify the protagonist, antagonist, given circumstances, and the climax. In Lab Rats, Leo is the protagonist and Marcus is an antagonist through the lens of acting for the screen. I say "and" because there are many antagonists in Lab Rats like Douglas, Giselle, Crane, and Taylor, aka S1. In the theatrical lens, the protagonist and antagonist roles stay the same. For the first time in the series, we're covering an antagonist. While it is a common theatrical trope to say, oh, the villain is the protagonist because they're trying to do something, and the hero is the antagonist because they're trying to stop the villain, this doesn't apply to Lab Rats for a variety of reasons. Leo is the protagonist both in the lens of screen and on stage because he has solid goals of proving his worth to the bionic team and gaining familial trust. Along with this, Leo gets a happy ending to his story at the end of Lab Rats, which is often a defining factor of a protagonist. Since Lab Rats is a comedic show for entertainment, I applied the rules of comedy theater, and one of them is that the protagonist tends to have a happy ending. In the final episode, Leo goes back to the Bionic Island Academy as a mentor, whereas before he was just a student. This is a happy ending for him as he is now appointed as a mentor and is more trusted and is proven to be an asset to the Bionic team. Another reason why Leo is the protagonist is that he is in every single episode, so as an audience we are following his storyline. With Leo as the protagonist in both lenses, Marcus is an antagonist of the show since he tries to stop Leo's goals by being two-faced, which causes the Davenport family to not trust Leo. Also, Marcus tries to kill Leo multiple times. However, another trope in theater is that the antagonist is introduced either at the beginning of the play or alongside the protagonist. Since Marcus's first appearance in the show is in the penultimate episode of Season 1, he is not the primary antagonist. However, somebody who is introduced with Leo is consistently in the show show, and is a roadblock to Leo proving his spot on the Bionic team, it's Donald Davenport. Donald lacks trust in Leo due to his tendency to be clumsy or mess with Donald's inventions, which stops Leo from proving himself. By the end of the show, Donald lets Leo have an authority position at the Bionic Academy, and thus Leo gets a happy ending. In conclusion, in the Theatrical Lens, Leo is the protagonist, Donald is the antagonist, and Marcus is just a reoccurring thorn in Leo's side. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. As for given circumstances, some of the main ones in Lab Rats are that Leo's mom, Tasha, is married to Donald Davenport, Davenport's kids are Bionic, and Douglas and Donald are brothers. The given circumstances related to Marcus are that he is an android, and that Douglas is his father and creator. These given circumstances give the audience insight into why Marcus is the way he is, and gives us insight into his goals. Next is the climax. Since Lab Rats is an episodic series of arcs, there are multiple climaxes in the series. In the first half of season 2, the climax is the fight scene between the Bionic teens and Marcus, along with Douglas and Donald fighting. In season 4, it's all of the characters defeating Marcus and Giselle. Normally at this part of the video, I'd say, it's major dramatic question time! It's major dramatic question time! It's major dramatic question time! However, it is not major dramatic question time. It's not even minor dramatic question time. I already went through the major dramatic question of Lab Rats as a whole when discussing Leo's role as the protagonist and his goals, in which his question would be something like, will Leo prove himself, or will Leo get his family's trust? Since this is the first episode where I'm not analyzing a protagonist, I'm going to discuss how these videos will go when I'm not covering a protagonist. Rather than covering the character's major dramatic question, since they don't have one that's central to the plot of the show, I will go over their goals and role in the story. Let's call this goals and roles.
Surprise, I'm Bionic.
As I mentioned earlier, Marcus's role in Lab Rats is to be a thorn in Leo's side and another roadblock in Leo's goals. This is very evident in his character. For example, during his villain monologue in Speed Trapped, he says,
I'd hate to see your family torn apart because of your big mouth.
And this shows how he threatens Leo in order to stop him from getting the trust that he wants. Along with this, the way he gaslights the rest of the Davenports throughout season 1 and 2 is how he goes about preventing Leo from answering his major dramatic question with a yes. The interesting thing about Marcus's character is that he also wants something related to family. Especially in season 4, Marcus wants a family. This is shown a little bit in season 2 since he's faking being friends with Adam, Bree, and Chase not for himself, but for his dad, Douglas. Throughout his time on the show, he expresses frustration with his father's egotistical personality and how he wants his efforts to be noticed. In Leo vs. Evil, he says to Douglas, Dad, it's gonna be so epic when I capture Adam, Bree, and Chase. Fine, when we capture them. Just like when we forgot my birthday. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you angry or are we angry? While most of these lines are one-off lines meant for comedic relief, it's clear that Marcus wants positive attention from Douglas. Also, something I forgot to mention in the story part of this video is that Douglas thinks Marcus is going to short circuit when he turns 16, which is one of the reasons why he wants to kidnap Adam, Bree, and Chase and control their bionics. Douglas thinks Marcus is just going to stop functioning one day, and he doesn't really care. All he wants is Adam, Bree, and Chase for their bionics. This fact is mostly mentioned as a setup for a joke about Marcus wanting a car for his 16th birthday, but after season 4, we know this was a lie. In season 4, Marcus is supposed to be 18, so he's fine. When he returns after being rebuilt by Giselle, he's still looking for a family to the point where he calls Giselle mom and still calls Douglas dad. When Douglas says, I can reprogram you, we can be a family again, Marcus looks like he's about to cry and is questioning what he's doing. Listen, it's unclear if he has a heart or can feel emotions and all that, but he's clearly questioning what he's doing before he quickly goes back to being serious. Marcus's story ends when he dies for the third and final times at the hands of the person he tried to impress in the first place, Douglas. Although I wish that Leo had a chance to defeat Marcus at least once in the story by himself, Douglas killing Marcus ends his story on Lab Rats on a symbolic and theatrical note. Now, of course, Marcus went about this the worst way possible by trying to, hunt and kill people. Looking at the goals of a character can explain their actions, but not excuse them. His intentions were in a decent place, but he went about it in the worst way possible.
God, Hamlet is such a drama queen.
On a lighter note, let's talk about Marcus being a theater kid. A wise, really good Canadian YouTuber once said,
"Imagine a theater kid that never sleeps."
When discussing artificial intelligence. I heard this line in Curtis's video while I was writing this script and I thought, wait, that describes Marcus perfectly. Marcus from Lab Rats is canonically a theater kid. Where is the evidence, you ask? In Bionic Showdown Part 1, Marcus exclaims to his uncle, Donald,
I made drama club.
Douglas tells his brother, he's good too. I keep telling him to try out for Oklahoma.
I thought I was auditioning for Oklahoma.
Also in Part 1 of Bionic Showdown, Marcus does an excellent stage fall when he fights Chase outside of the lair, and he gets back up in the most dramatic fashion. In the Part 2 of Bionic Showdown, after he and Douglas capture Adam, Bree, and Chase, he says, yeah, in here, you're not superhuman. You're just a bunch of pathetic kids. Douglas interrupts him saying, hey, sad clown, this is my moment, save it for the stage, further insinuating that Marcus is a theater kid.
I'm gonna miss that little guy. No, I'm not.
While we've discussed Marcus as a character, there are some theater elements to discuss. Starting with one that is very prevalent in both stage and screen acting, I would like to discuss foreshadowing. There's only one foreshadow I can find surrounding Marcus, and it's in Speed Trapped. In this episode, Leo is being overly protective and cautious of Adam, Bree, and Chase. Because of this, Leo brings a metal detector to school, and when Marcus tries to talk to them, Leo points the detector at him and it slightly beeps.
Creepy.
Silly Leo.
The Lab Rats Wikipedia page makes it unclear if the metal detector actually went off or not, but the transcript says it beeped. The small detail is a foreshadow towards Marcus being an android. Now I'm finally going to discuss probably the most remembered part of Marcus's character, his goddamn eyebrows. In almost every single scene he is in, Marcus raises one eyebrow. Confused about something dumb Adam says, eyebrow raise. Threatening Leo, eyebrow raise. Doing a villain monologue, so many eyebrow raises. It became such a well-known part of the show that Leo calls him Eyebrows in Captain Eyebrow in Season 2, and in the series finale after he was destroyed the first time, Douglas says he's going to turn his eyebrow into a bracelet. Marcus's iconic eyebrow raise is a character decision that adds a lot to his character and to the plot of Lab Rats as a whole. Since Lab Rats is a show targeted towards children, it uses elements of a certain theatrical genre to show themes of good versus evil. This genre is melodrama, like the Lord album. Melodrama is a piece of media that has exaggerated characters and emotions, and often has clear-cut depictions of who is good and who is evil. Marcus's eyebrow raise is like his version of a stereotypical cartoon villain twisting their handlebar mustache. In Keyan Carlile's video about Lab Rats, a commenter under the name Mark Taco mentioned that Marcus's eyebrow raise could also be related to his main weapon of choice, his laser eyes.
I'm watching you with my laser eyes.
Almost like he's aiming a shot with his eyebrows. Lastly, I'm going to discuss something that is a part of my theater forte, color theory and psychology. His eye lasers and bionic powers are green, which is the opposite on the color wheel of red, which is the main color of the bionic teams. Davenport's logo is red, and so are Adam's eye lasers. As far as color theory and costuming, in his first appearance he wears green. This is also foreshadowing him as an opposition to the main characters, but another interpretation could be that he wears green in this episode to fit in. Both Leo and Chase also wear green in this episode, but they both wear bright shades of green, whereas Marcus wears a muted olive. In Mission Space, he wears a burgundy hoodie, which matches Davenport's color scheme more. This makes sense because Marcus is trying to convince Davenport to let him stay for the weekend, so his choice of red makes him appear closer to the Davenports than he actually is. In the rest of the episodes, he exclusively wears gray and black. In color psychology, black and gray are often used to depict something sinister or evil, which fits Marcus very well. The color psychology and theory for Marcus's character, whether it was intentional or not, adds a nice contrast between him and the main characters.
That was a warning shot. Next one won't be.
All in all, Marcus from Lab Rats was an interesting character to look at through the theatrical lens. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this and turn on the bell for notifications. One thumbs up equals one eyebrow raise. Comment down below what characters you would like to see in this series next, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much!